And we take a look at news coming from Alaska, where President Trump and Russian President Vladimir Putin are set to meet later today for a high-stakes summit that could shape the future of Ukraine. Now, ahead of the meeting, President Trump said that he would not be intimidated by Putin, adding that if talks went well, a three-way summit with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, who is not invited to today's meeting, would be even more important.
It's a war that should have never happened. If I weren't president, in my opinion, he would much rather take over all of Ukraine. But I am president, and he's not going to mess around with me.
This is Vladimir Putin's first trip to Western soil since ordering the 2022 invasion of Ukraine, which has killed tens of thousands of people. Russian forces have also made rapid gains in recent days before the summit. President Trump extended the invitation at the Russian leader's suggestion, but has since been defensive and has warned that the meeting could be over within minutes if Putin refuses to compromise.
But I think that it's going to be very interesting. We're going to find out where everybody stands, and I'll know within the first 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 4 minutes, or 5 minutes, like we tend to find out whether or not we're going to have a good meeting or a bad meeting.
On Thursday, Putin praised the Trump administration's energetic efforts to end the war, but his foreign minister, Sergei Lavrov, struck a more guarded note. He said Russia's position has already been made clear.
We never anticipate ahead of time. We know that we have arguments and we have clear position. We will explain it. A lot has already been done during the visits of the special envoy of the U.S. President, Steve Witkoff. The President, Vladimir Putin of Russia, told about this. Witkoff spoke on behalf of President Trump. I hope that we will continue this very useful conversation.
Away from the official talking points, exiled Russian opposition figure Yulia Navalnaya urged both leaders to strike a deal to free Russian and Ukrainian political prisoners held for speaking out against the war. Now, talks will begin after 11 a.m. local time, or 700 GMT, at the Elmendorf Air Force Base, which is a former Cold War outpost. The Kremlin has reportedly said that Putin and Trump are expected to meet alone with interpreters before a working lunch with aides. For now, expectations are high for the first US-Russia presidential summit in more than 4 years. But Moscow and Kyiv remain far apart on how to end the conflict. So what exactly does each side want? For Russia, the summit is an opportunity to press Moscow's hardline demands for ending the conflict. Russia demands Ukrainian withdrawal from the Kherson, Luhansk, Zaporizhia, and Donetsk regions that Moscow claimed to annex in 2022. It also wants Ukraine to halt its military mobilization and to abandon its NATO ambitions. In addition, Moscow also wants Western sanctions to be lifted. Meanwhile, the United States is seeking a rapid ceasefire that would fulfill President Trump's campaign promise. The US will also look to set the table for a trilateral US-Russia-Ukraine follow-up summit. Now, the Ukrainians want no peace deal without them. Kyiv has called for an unconditional ceasefire on land, sea, and sky as a prerequisite to peace talks. It also reportedly wants the release of all prisoners of war and wants security guarantees that prevent Russia from attacking again. It has also vowed it will not cede any territory to the occupiers. And for Europe, what does it expect? That the US will not agree to any territorial deals without Ukraine's presence, and continue economic pressure and sanctions if Russia refuses fair compromise. So, as the world watches, the Alaska summit will test whether personal diplomacy can bridge one of the deepest divides between Washington and Moscow in decades. With fighting still raging and positions deeply entrenched, the outcome could lay the groundwork for peace or even set the stage for a prolonged conflict.
Firstpost now available in 9 languages on YouTube. English,
Stands at $36 trillion.
French,
Le FMI, comme
German,
Geschäftsführenden Direktor,
Hindi,
$30 trillion ka karj ho.
Indonesian,
Pemerintah tanpa pemeriksaan.
Italian,
Sekali radikali.
Japanese,
4兆ドル以上も
Portuguese,
por causa do próprio balanço patrimonial.
Spanish.
Beautiful bill.
Go to Settings, click on Audio Track and select a language of your choice. Be the first to know what's happening around you in your first language. Firstpost.